Are there any other significant events that you look back now that you can see contributed to or that stood out as a part of your growth, whether positive or negative, to create the person Mike Hussey, or the cricketer Mike Hussey became, and then the person that you are today?
Well, there's so many, Paddy. Being a cricketer and certainly being a batsman, it's such a long journey, and there's so many critical moments throughout your life that shape the person and the player that you are. So I think for me, playing for Western Australia, my dream as a kid was to play cricket for Australia, to play Test cricket for Australia. That's all I wanted to do in life. My favourite player was Alan Border, and in fact, I was a right-handed batsman until about the age of 8 or 9. But I loved Alan Border so much that I decided to turn around and try and bat left-handed to be like AB. I loved the way he went about his cricket. He was tough, he was uncompromising, and he just never gave his wicket away. And they're the sort of things that were inside me that's who I wanted to be. And then when I got picked for Western Australia, I thought, right, I am literally one step away from realising that dream. And as history will show, it took me over 10 years to take that next step and went through so many critical things throughout that time. So, for example, getting dropped from the Western Australian team. My first 4 or 5 seasons, I played really well, scored lots of runs, but I couldn't quite get into that Australian team, no matter what I did. And it was so frustrating. And as I said earlier, I was someone that tried so hard, often put a little bit too much pressure on myself, wanted it so badly that I started thinking, okay, well, what do the national selectors want? I've been doing well, but I can't seem to take that next little jump. What do I have to do? And I had a look at the Australian team, and there was guys like Matthew Hayden, Ricky Ponting, Adam Gilchrist. Even Justin Langer was a bit of a nicker and nudger early, but he turned himself into a more aggressive player as well. So I thought, that's what the national selectors want, that they want these aggressive players. So I decided to change my game because my game was based more around patience, batting time. As I said earlier, not a lot of shots, work the ball, run hard, bat all day if I can. That was my sort of game. But I thought the national selectors, that's not what they wanted. So I changed my game, tried to be more aggressive, tried to put pressure back on the bowlers, and of course, detrimental effect on my game. I was very inconsistent, and I got dropped from the WA team. So that's a critical moment in my career.
So did you know that's what the selectors want, and was that information you received to change your game, or was this an assumption that you made for yourself?
That was an assumption from me. I knew it was a great team, and those guys were performing well, and there was no opportunities. But I looked at that type of player and I thought, that must be what they want. I didn't ask the question or anything like that. I probably should have. But no, I was just thinking, okay, what do I need to do to get better? How can I make that last little jump to be good enough to get up and play, realise that dream of playing Test cricket for Australia? Of course, it didn't work out for me. Got dropped from the WA team. And at that stage, it was a case of, okay, well, you know what? You're not going to play for Australia. If you can't get a game for WA, that dream of playing for Australia, it's just not going to happen, So it was good in a way because I took a lot of pressure off myself. It made me relax. It made me say, okay, I'm going to go back to playing my way, the way I know what works for me. I know if I could play 10 years of first-class cricket for Western Australia, I know I can still be proud of that career. And it was the best thing I did, Paddy. As soon as I took the pressure off, enjoyed the game, enjoyed my teammates, played my way that I know works for me, my consistency returned, and that's when I got picked for Australia.
And when you came back and you relaxed a bit, were you still that same level of intensity, or had that also dropped off a little bit?
No, it had definitely dropped off a bit because I was more comfortable in the person and the player that I was. But I will say as well, around that time, another huge turning point in my career was I had the opportunity to go and play some county cricket. So I was batting every single day of the week. I was playing in one-day cricket, four-day cricket, different bowlers, different pitches, different conditions. We had a big spin-friendly pitch where I played from, and I was facing the likes of Graham Swan, Monty Panesar, and a guy called Jason Brown, who was arguably better than the other two that I mentioned. I was facing them every single day. And for a young boy coming from the whacker, where it's all pace, bounce, cuts, pulls, drives, no spin whatsoever, me to be able to develop my game and learn how to play spin properly was invaluable for my career. So once I sort of figured out that I want to play my way, plus also got the experience of batting every single day in different conditions and developing my play against spin, I came back to Australia and it was like, right, my game is ready, and it's just naturally sort of evolved and got better, and I was ready then. I was ready to sort of take the next step and play for Australia.